This is the Mundo Perdido, or Lost World section of TIKAL. There are more than 3,000 structures in this archaeological site. Only 15% have been excavated. This, I'm told, is one of the oldest. We're gonna climb to the top and take a look. And when you first come out here to these structures, your first instinct to climb one of these is to crawl up. But actually, the Maya had a system for climbing to the top of these, and that would be to go on a diagonal. Your left hand works as a stabilizer. You get to one side and you go on a diagonal the opposite direction. This is much easier. Now I'm 6'5", and it's still a pretty good step for me. The Mayan were much shorter. And that's a big step for a shorter person.
Thousands of buildings once dominated this landscape, as 80% of the rainforest was cleared to create this sprawling metropolis.
I have a 360-degree view of the Mayan Biosphere Reserve, this thick, dense jungle environment. Over there is the North Acropolis, the north part of the city. You can see temple number 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can imagine a plaza in the foreground with 90, 100,000 people crammed into that plaza at one time. Directly in front of us, we have the South Acropolis. It's still entombed in the jungle and yet to be revealed.
The primary focus of excavation has been on the 10 square miles that was once the heart of the city. These structures have defied the elements for over 1,200 years, and slowly but surely, the Mayan past is being revealed.
This is the Twin Pyramid Complex. This structure has been completely restored. This, on the other hand, this is what early explorers would have discovered here in TIKAL. Large mounds overgrown with vegetation.
These structures have defied the elements for over 1,200 years, and slowly but surely, the Mayan past is being revealed.
So this is a former observatory of the Mayas. We know the Mayas were great astronomers, but not because they have the best telescopes. Astronomers who observe the astros and astronomers who track different cycles. So the Mayas observed different cycles and they tracked precisely 5 cycles. The Earth around the Sun, the Moon around the Earth, Venus around the Sun, and 2 comets. Today we call Halley Comet and Kepler Comet. From certain buildings, you can see into the horizon, the sitting of Venus is very precise, you know, and it has an hyperbole, you know, boom, hyperbola, like this. So the Mayas has buildings, you know, a tall building, a small building, to observe the setting of Venus. So made out of this, the Mayas has these 18 periods of 20 days, makes 316, and 1 period of 5 days. So they have the solar cycles divided, 18 periods of 20 plus 1 period of 5.
Which helped develop their calendar system.
Their calendar system.
Based on their calendar cycle, the Maya actually predicted their own demise. They were just 1,000 years off.
Kit, according to the astronomers, is the perfect combination to track the time. Right. So you can go back and forth in eternity. If you use days, months, and years,
so they truly were mathematical geniuses.
Yes, yes. Right. First they developed math, and out of this math, they track and calculate this. So in the Mayas, knowledge is power. And then they use this power to tell the people what to do, when to do.
In addition to their genius abilities in math, science, and astronomy, the ancient Maya were also responsible for remarkable achievements in architecture.
You know, the entrance to this particular structure is a great example of the Mayan arch. And another thing, inside these structures, it's very cool. This is limestone. Keeps the hot, humid jungle air out. And it's very cool. It's air conditioned, basically. Very effective. Believe it or not, this building right here was formerly a military headquarters. And this was a doorway. You can again see the Mayan arch.
The Mayan arch consists of thickened walls and a fillstone at the apex to counteract the effects of gravity. It was a tremendous advancement in load-bearing efficiency over the previous post and lintel designs.
When archaeologists uncovered this particular structure, they discovered a very unique architectural style found nowhere else in the Mayan world. These deep channels are found only here in TIKAL.
Scientists believe that TIKAL was constructed as a microcosm of Maya religion, signifying the division between the human world and the underworld.
I'm in the North Acropolis section of TIKAL, or necropolis, city of the dead. Within these structures lies the tombs of the royal family.
In the Maya belief system, the underworld was represented by the direction north, and in the North Acropolis we find buildings related to the underworld, such as tombs, stela, and altars. The southern part of the city represented sustenance of life, and here we find residential quarters, markets, and palaces. And in between, we find the main plaza, which served as a passageway between the two worlds.
Now we're approaching to the main plaza. Come and take a look at this. Voila!
Extraordinary.
Extraordinary. Just imagine, back 1500 years ago, all these colors, live colors, you know, the Mayas, they love the colors. They are very quality control in their architecture. So just imagine this, red colors, you know, from the mahogany tree, and the top, white, yellow, green, black. So all these temples has a combination of living area, astronomical, because orientation, observation, and of course, the main important thing, for the gods. And we have some buildings that were in the purpose as in a school. School for the kids, school for the next generation. The kids, for example, as a standard of beauty, we understand as a standard of beauty, they were forced their crane to be in a cone. That's a standard of beauty. And they were cross-eyes. They were forced to be cross-eyes.
How did they do that?
Okay, they forced the kids, they put a wood table and that, okay? And they put a wax thing, you know, this like that, yeah? And do this. So in a couple of years, that's what we understand.
So in the ancient Mayan culture, that was a sign of beauty.
A sign of beauty.
Be cross-eyed.
Yeah, be cross-eyed.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Is and you know, the cone, like a cone, the crane, you know? It's
Yeah, and
called.
how did they train? They train your...
With wood and...
Really?
Yeah. The reason these people were here is because the gods. So they have to offer to the gods the best of their architecture in this case.
So it was a tribute to the gods.
It's tribute to the gods. They get closer to the gods in this high tower. The gods provide them food, the gods provide them fun, the gods take care of them. We have different sources of records. We have, you can see these standing rocks, you know, we call the stelas. Some of the stelas are carved, and we got like a biography. So this quest for the Mayas, it became like a puzzle, you know. In TIKAL, we have record from 254 AD to before 900. Precise names, date, events. So let's imagine some 1500 years ago, this plaza, crowd of people, the leaders telling the people what is the message from the gods. The message from the gods has a lot of concern in the duties, in the daily duties. What to do, what the gods need from us. So the people were fed, the people has fun, the people were happy.
The absence of rivers, lakes, and streams surrounding TIKAL highlights an incredible achievement by the Maya, sustaining a major settlement with only stored seasonal rainfall. TIKAL prospered for centuries using advanced agricultural techniques, including a complex irrigation system that exists to this day. Their reliance on seasonal rainfall, however, left TIKAL vulnerable to drought, a fact many scientists now believe ultimately led to the Maya collapse.
They have found that 816 and 889 in Mesoamerica was affected by droughts. The drought that really affected this area was the one that took place in 889 AD.
We also have proof that the practice of ritual human sacrifice increases during this period, as the Maya petition the gods for help. Evidence suggests that many of these sacrifices appear directed at Shak, the Mayan god of rain. Ultimately, it appears the Maya may have been a victim of their own success.
Drought generates lost production of food. The production of food generates loss of faith. Loss of faith generates revolution. Revolution generates anarchy. Anarchy, chaos, chaos, exodus.
So in the course of about 10 years,
In the course of 10 years,
collapse.
the classic period, cities collapse.